April 2nd, 2025. I consider it to be one of the most insane days of my life that I could remember. Out of nowhere, a short trailer for something that's a part of my biggest hyperfixation released, with a release date nonetheless, making me crave summer more than anything. Thinking about it every day since the trailer, all up to its release. That thing was, of course, South Park, you moron! Didn't you read the title, dumbass? Why the fuck did I even do this bit? Like, it was so predictable that I wasn't really talking about Deltarune and I was talking about South Park. Like, it was dumb. Why the fuck did I do that? Anyways, the trailer looked fucking packed as hell. So many classic characters returning, and so many vastly different, exciting episode ideas. And finally, a comeback to really random bullshit attitude, while still having some commentary sprinkled in. It was the first season with 10 episodes in a long while, and it felt like it was supposed to be a big comeback season, returning everything back to basics. Oh boy, how gullible we were. Well, hey guys, Merry Christmas! Unless it's not Christmas anymore when I release this video, but I'm hoping it is. If it's not, I'm sorry, I will kill myself over there. But for now, let's just move on with the video. South Park recently ended this year a bunch of episodes, and it's definitely the most fucking bizarre and weirdest season of the show. Or seasons? I don't fucking know, man. This shit was very tough. I wanted to take a look back on it and quickly review every episode of the season while talking about it as a whole, and its very fucking weird and bad release schedule, and try to answer: does South Park really suck now? Is it that bad as season 20? Did the show relapse when it comes to the Trump addiction? Or was it the most genius thing the show has ever done? Let's take a look. Sermon on demand. Even since before the episode actually began airing, this was already proving to be a very bizarre season of the show. You see, the season was supposed to release on July 9, but right before that date, it was announced that the episode was gonna be delayed by 2 weeks, starting this season on July 23rd. This was a sign of what's to come, believe me. When the delay happened, we got a new promo art featuring Jesus being the part of South Park Elementary for some reason, which was intriguing. The day before the episode came out, we got a teaser showing us again Jesus at school, but also it was teasing the return of fan favorite character Saddam Hussein. I like how I said that as if Saddam Hussein was a South Park character and not a real dictator or anything. Yeah, I don't know. That got me extremely excited. I couldn't wait to see Saddam after all these years. Again! And then the episode actually happened.
What are you, some kind of dictator from the Middle East?
A dictator from the Middle East? Hey, relax, guy. I'm just your average Joe. Take a rest.
I already made a small video about the South Park premiere when it happened, so I'll just summarize what I said there, while giving my newer, more throughout thoughts on the episode. So basically, Cartman learns that his favorite left-wing radio show got cancelled by the government and realizes that the world has become way more right-wing and that the woke is basically dead. Which is confirmed for him by the fact that PC Principle is not PC anymore and has become right-wing and power Christian Principle. PC Principle for short. This is all because of the current government run by no other than Donald J. Trump. When this episode released, it might have been the biggest South Park episode in, I don't know, in like a decade. It was insane how much talked about it was. It was praised everywhere. I have never seen this much buzz around the South Park episode ever in my life. But mainly because I wasn't a South Park fan at the time, the biggest controversies were happening, so like I weren't really, processing them because I was a stupid baby child. It was that big that the motherfucking president of the United States of America responded to it, calling it bad because it made fun of him and also irrelevant, even though the fucking president is talking about it. And I generally never seen him do that about a parody, which is insane. Not insane because he's the president, but because how does he not do that for every parody? He's Donald Trump. That's something that I am expecting out of him. South Park seemed to be really back with full force here. But unfortunately, there is a but. Saying all that, this episode in retrospect was very overrated in my opinion. Do I think it's bad? Well, no. I think it's an extremely fun and silly episode, and I think it's pretty good. And the commentary in it was very spot on, but come on guys. I don't think it's top rated or anything. Like, for like a week or so, it was the highest rated episode of the show on IMDb with 10 out of 10, and like, really? Really, mate? Really? I don't think if it makes even the top 100 episodes of the show for me. Not because it's bad, but because the show is so fucking good. I just think that the reason why it was so highly regarded, more than most episodes of the show, it was because people were missing an actually good and funny and very big thrashing on Trump. And the show delivered in that aspect. This episode is definitively the best way they have made of fun of Trump ever. And in the future as well. And they decide to shoot at him from all the cylinders. As much as the show beats this joke to the ground later on in the season, when the episode released, this was fucking hilarious all the way through. But the show stealer in this episode was definitely the ending Trump PTA. It was so funny and probably the most time-consuming part of this entire season. Like, look at this! Look at this! It's so stupid! Actually, don't look at this. YouTube won't allow me, so forget about that. Other part of his parody that I really enjoyed was him being a literal copy of Saddam Hussein, talking in the same way, being animated in the same way, and even having a sexual relationship with Satan himself, who I don't really understand what is he doing here. He was killed off in season 22, and according to the DVD commentary, Matt and Trey wanted to have him be dead permanently, but to be honest, it's been 8 years now since that episode, so you know, it would make sense if they decided to wreck on it after all these years, because they probably don't feel the same way about his character like they did 8 years ago. And also, after being killed, where the hell was he supposed to go? Detroit? Anyways, getting back on track. The Saddam Trump thing is not only funny on the obvious level, having Trump to be literal a clone of a dictator from the Middle East. This decision is also funny because Saddam is simply a funny character, and having Trump be animated and written like they did Saddam is just funny, man. It's stupid. I love whenever they use his mugshot as his face, like what the fuck is that? The reason why I decided to shit on Trump is also funny on a meta level. Shortly before this episode released, the Colbert Show got fully cancelled by Paramount after Donald Trump sued them for having him be made fun of him, which is, you know, a kind of fascist thing to do. And if you know anything about Matt and Trey, is that they don't like censorship at all. So, because they signed a crazy $1 billion deal for 5 more years of South Park content, they decided to use it as a way to shit on Trump so relentlessly and so hard that Trump would sue Paramount, and Paramount couldn't do anything about it because they have just paid them $1 billion to do whatever they want. And I don't really want to have this $1 billion go to waste, right? Matt and Trey have them by the balls, and that's genuinely so fucking funny, dude. This is great. Shame Trump never sued them or anything, that would be funny. Besides that, the episode has a lot of other funny stuff that I liked, like PC Principal being Christian or Cartman being distraught over the fact that Wok is dead and he has no one to make fun of. This is all funny and all, but my main problem with it is that all of these plot points feel very unfinished. It just feels like it doesn't go anywhere ever. And that's a problem I had with a lot of episodes this season, and it's a giant issue for me with modern South Park overall, and I'll get to it later. PC Principal in this episode didn't change a bit. Cartman and Butters were still trying to kill themselves at the end with no resolution, and the town never defeated Trump or anything. It all just kinda stops, and I never liked whenever episodes, even of comedy shows, didn't have their conflict resolved. It just felt not good. I even prefer a shitty, tacky way of resolving conflicts than nothing at all, really. This really took a lot of my enjoyment out of this episode, but all around, it's still good and a good season opener. Let's see how they continue this shit from here, shall we? Or shall we not? Because you're an asshole.
We are Charlie Kirk, we can
the Charlie Kirk episode. After the last episode, Matt and Trey were at the San Diego Comic-Con, where they got asked a simple question about how are they planning on following up this giant premiere episode, and Trey simply responded that they have no idea what to do for the next episode and that it's very stressful. This was the foreshadowing to what happened next. The new episode got a trailer announcing that the episode will be pushed by a week, which was surprising, sure, but I guess they were at the Comic-Con, so they didn't have much time to make the episode. What the fuck do you mean every episode is gonna have 2-week gaps in between them? What the fuck? This season will be released on a 2-week basis, which is very weird, and it's not something South Park has ever done before. But Matt and Trey's explanation for it was that there is so much happening with Trump right now that they don't want to miss out on anything. What the fuck does that even mean? Like, your episodes this season didn't really comment on anything current with Trump for the most part, and they were just doing random bullshit with him, so what are you talking about? But whatever, I can live with that. At least it's consistent. Anyways, this is the Charlie Kirk episode. So, because of the budget cuts, Mr. Mackey was fired from being the school counselor, making him need to find another job, which ended with him working for the ICE. I like the return of It's Gone guy for a second here, that was a cute reference. Meanwhile, Clyde starts a controversial podcast where he says the most awful and lacking empathy stuff only to get attention from people not really believing what he said at all. And that's Cartman whole shit, damn it! So you can imagine that he wasn't very happy about it. And in order to stop him and show that he is the anti-woke Sigma of South Park, Cartman had a transformation and he becomes Charlie Kirk, and now he carries his flame and honors his name. Let's start by talking about the Cartman's title because it takes less screen time and all. Before watching this episode, I had no idea who Charlie Kirk was. Because, you know, I wasn't American, and I had a life. So why would I know who this most random right-wing rage-baiting podcaster is, even though he has never done anything significant in his entire life? Why would I know about someone like that? Oh, how much changed in such a short amount of time. Anyways, after learning more on who Charlie Kirk actually was, I grew a bigger appreciation for this episode, cause this is very funny indeed. I think the thing that Cartman said sums him up the best.
I'm getting really good at this. I have my arguments down rock solid. These young college girls are totally unprepared, so I can just destroy them and also edit out all the ones that actually argue back well.
Also, I like how this is sort of an extension of the conflict Cartman had in the previous episode, with not knowing what his place in the world is after everything became anti-woke, seemingly taking over his place. Also, I don't really have a problem with Clyde being characters like this. It makes sense. We have seen him have shady morals like this before in the show, so you know, it makes sense, again, that in our current climate, he would do something like that. But the thing that made me laugh the hardest in this episode is Cartman saying that he is master debating, and especially master debating to college girls. Look, I may be immature, but actually, I don't know how to finish this sentence. Anyways, if you have a problem with me finding the word master debater funny, then go fuck yourself. Yeah. This plotline is probably the hardest I laughed in both this and the previous episode. It was extremely stupid that I just couldn't help myself but fucking laugh. But unfortunately, this plotline has the same problem I had with the previous episode. It wasn't really resolved. It feels like the episode just forgot about Cartman after Charlie Kirk awards ceremony. Oh well, maybe the main plot has a better conclusion, right? Anyways, the main plot is more so about shitting on Kristi Noem, which I also didn't know much about before the episode came out. Get ready for this to be a regularity this season. The main joke they told with her is that she keeps shooting innocent dogs and stuff. This is because in her book, Kristi Noem admitted to the fact that she shot her dog to death after he was misbehaving and pissed Noem off, and she talked about it like it was some triumphant moment that redefined feminism or whatever. What? I can't be the only one who thinks this is just fucking absurdly over the top insane. What the fuck? How is this person a part of the government of the... I shouldn't be asking this. It's America. Anyways, the dog shooting gag was funny at first couple times, but after a while it has become pretty stale. I wouldn't mind this joke being repeated the entire episode. South Park has done that plenty times in the past, and it worked a lot of times. But the problem is here that mainly the jokes keep evolving and getting more absurd and bigger throughout the whole thing. In the previous instances that they were repeating itself, but here it's just the same joke and it doesn't really change at all throughout the episode. At the end, she randomly shoots Crypto the super dog for some reason, and I don't understand why that happened. What the fuck was the joke? Why was Crypto even flying there for reasons any other than Superman came out around that time? What? The other joke they did with her was that her face was all melting and kept falling off her face. And like, okay, it wasn't that funny, but at least it was different every time they told it. I don't know, I didn't really give a fuck about her parody here. It wasn't that hilarious or anything, but their icy parody was way more funny at least. Them literally invading heaven was so fucking good, man. Later on in the episode, Mr. Mackey is so good at his job, even though he doesn't really want to do it, that Trump is so impressed that he invites him and Christy to Mar-a-Lago. And that's where we go. Yeah, and that's where we, for the first time, see him.
Relax, take a load off. Boss, the plane is here from Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
This is South Park's J.D. Vance. He is a parody of a character of Tattoo from Fantasy Island. Something that not a single South Park fan that isn't at least 40 would understand, probably. I fucking love South Park iteration of J.D. Vance. His voice and his design are generally the funniest shit ever, and oh fuck it, I might as well say it. This is the best and the funniest design out of all South Park characters. I mean, look at him. Fucking look at him. How can you not at least smile looking at this fucking wonderful face? Tell me something from South Park that comes close to J.D. Vance. You can't. It's so good! Anyways, this place seems to be a parody of the Epstein Island or whatever. It's pretty subtle, so it's hard to tell if this was intentional or not. But Mr. Mackey meets Clyde there, who won a trip to Mar-a-Lago by masturbating so much. And Mackey has a very nice speech about how we shouldn't be sacrificing our beliefs and ethics only for a quick buck. I really like this scene, not only because it tied Mackey and Clyde plot line really nicely, but it also showed how Mackey generally likes to help kids and being a counselor is the thing that he is the best at. It was sweet. Anyways, it's time for Clyde and Mackey to escape from Mar-a-Lago, and this might be generally the worst fucking ending in the history of the entire show. It's bad. Okay, so Christy Noam's face falls off and people start chasing it around, and meanwhile Mackey and Clyde escape from the island off screen. Like, we never got to see them escaping from the island, and the face of Christy Noam gets immediately caught and put on back again, and fucking this happens. And it all happens in the span of like 20 seconds. I'm not kidding. Don't you think that's a little insane and messy? I don't know, for the most part, this was a solid episode, had plenty of funny jokes and it was all around a fun time, but that ending was just so messy and confusing on what actually even happened here. It was so weird, man, and unfortunately, it brings the whole episode down as a whole. But even then, it's still pretty okay. It's not the worst thing in the world. Believe me. Believe me. Somehow, Sycophancy succeeds to be one of the most regular episodes of South Park where nothing really happens for the most part, but at the same time, it's the most fucking insane thing that South Park has done recently, and after all these months I still can't believe that they have actually done that. So, this is a Randy episode. Yay! And somehow, it's the only Randy episode of this season, which is just insane to me. He had at least 2 episodes per season for the past 20 years, so it's just weird how little of him we have seen this year. Anyways, Randy realizes that his Integrity Farm doesn't make enough profit nowadays, and that Icy keeps arresting his workers, so he is thinking of selling the farm. Until he starts asking ChatGPT what to do, which gives him and Towley an idea to turn Integrity Farms into a tech company where they... Actually, I don't know. I think this was my favorite part of the episode, the fact that we never learn what the fuck Towley and Randy were trying to achieve here. They just keep saying how innovative and genius they were and how this will change the world and the future while not doing anything. They also do that while microdosing on ketamine. Yay! This is, I think, the 3rd time they have done an episode on AI and more specifically ChatGPT, and it feels like Matt and Trey get really pissed off at the thought of it, which is fair, cause so do I. Unfortunately, a lot of these jokes felt repetitive and just taken from the previous times they have done ChatGPT jokes, like even from this season. In Sermon on the Mat we already had the joke of Randy talking to ChatGPT like a friend, and this feels like it just extended this joke into a full-on episode. Hell, even that joke felt like it was just taken from the Alexa episode all the way back in season 21, and that wasn't even that good of an episode. To be honest, I don't mind it that much. I feel like they do more stuff around the joke to make it stand out a bit from the other times they done this joke. Mainly the ketamine joke. Yeah, the ketamine joke is actually the only thing this season was actually taken from the original trailer from April, which is a shame, because I feel like it was the most not interesting episode idea they had in the trailer, but even still, I can't lie, it was very funny to me. Randy just looks so stupid whenever he is under its influence, and the way he just nonchalantly and quickly takes ketamine while talking to Sharon gets me every time. And the way he pretends that nothing happened afterwards, it's great. Not to mention the I'm in a hole moment. The entire commercial they did for Integrity was hilarious. My main problem here is that the episode just doesn't go anywhere at all. They don't progress anything throughout the whole thing. The business just fails through the 3rd act, and like that's all that happens. And then the ending happens after the episode that happens. What the fuck am I even saying? Before the ending, Towley is sent to Washington to get money from the president, and the way they have shown the Washington was pretty funny, if not kinda depressing, but man, the Trump has a small penis joke has really gotten old in this episode. I'm glad they kinda slowed down when it comes to it after this, cause it was funny in the 1st episode, but it just feels like it's just beating the dead horse now. Anywho, Towley goes to the White House, and I like the fact that Trump was being sycophanted to by every billionaire there, paralleling the fact that ChatGPT was doing the same thing to Randy earlier in the episode. Is that how you say it? Sycophanto? Sycophant? I'm not sure, it's a weird word, I don't really like it that much. Yeah. Well then, Towley gets backstabbed by Randy and is given to Trump as a gift, where he becomes his comrade, which is just kinda sad note to end the episode on, but alright. Anyway, the way Randy's story ends is very interesting and kinda insane. I really enjoyed the scene where Sharon was talking to Randy, and I think it was kinda sweet, and it was a nice way of talking Randy into selling the farm. Wait, what? Yeah, so this episode marks the end of Integrity Farms, which is just insane to me. It's been 6 or 7 years since they have moved out of the damn house into this farm, and it truly felt like Matt and Trey didn't want to ever move back into the old house. They alluded to it a lot of times, but it was always a joke to piece of people who didn't like Integrity Farms, so I can't lie, it was insane for me to see them actually go through with ending this controversial era of the show. But I can't say that I'm that surprised, cause ever since Streaming Wars, it felt like they didn't want to make that much weed episodes anymore, and we haven't gotten a one since that Streaming Wars special. There wasn't a single weed episode in the entirety of season 26 and the special that came afterwards. And, you know, they still used Randy, but it was now to do random shit that didn't have to do anything with weed, like in the good old days. So it makes sense that they would do that. And I'm gonna be honest, I will miss Integrity Farms. I'm one of the few South Park fans that just really loves Randy, and I will never understand the hate for him. Even if he is not my favorite, he's an extremely funny character, if not the funniest character in South Park. He may not be as tightly and well written as the main 4 characters, but so many episodes he starred in were absolute comedy classic, and that extends to Integrity as well. Episodes like Band in China, Pandemic Special, or even the original first Integrity episode. These are all genuinely great episodes and they got created because of Integrity. Not to mention the fact that it was just very charming to see Matt and Trey have so much fun making the show fully for themselves. It just felt so heartfelt and full of integrity. I'm gonna miss this era. I'm gonna miss this farm. Even if I'm very happy for Stan to finally got his old life back in like 6 or 7 episodes. But we will get to that. Anyways, I kinda got off track here. But what I meant to say that for the most part, this is a pretty standard by the book South Park episode that has some funny moments but felt too slow at times. But the ending was just insane and a great ending to a very experimental part of the show. I can't wait to see what they do with Randy next. Not this season though, I don't know why, but they just kinda forgot about him after this. Rest in peace, Integrity Farms. You will be missed. 1, 2. Princess kneel before you, that's what I said now, princess. Princess who adore you, just go ahead now. Okay, so like, imagine waiting 2 weeks for an episode of your favorite show, they give you a trailer for it only 2 days before it actually airs, and they announce that it's the Labubu episode all about Labubus. Great! Saying that, this is easily the best episode of the show. I mean, not of the show, I mean, easily the best episode of the season so far. Mainly because it actually has a plot structure and things progress in it. Wow! What a crazy concept! So in the South Park Elementary, the Labubus are very popular among the girls, and Red decides to start dating Butters and invites him to her birthday so he can buy her the most expensive and rare Labubu of all. I really like how they decided to do something with Red for the first time ever, I think. It was great to see her being fleshed out a little bit finally, but it kinda sucks that her first ever standalone role in the show is her dating Butters. Like, it would be cool to see her star in like an independent story, but okay, I'll take that. Butters is very cool in this episode, I liked him, he's funny. We also saw Jesus again in the episode, who became a school counselor after Maki got fired, and I really enjoyed him in this episode. Seeing him getting used to the counselor job was very nice. Anyways, Butters starts gambling, looking for the super rare Labubu in the shitty Wok, who was rebranded to a shitty pop-up store, cause Wok is dead now. This was such a dumb joke, I loved it. Also, for some reason, this marks the return of the fan favorite character Wink, who we haven't seen since season 9, and I have no idea why they decided to remember her now after all these years, but like, sure. And she is still voiced by herself, which is funny. I forgot that Wink is like an actual real singer and not just someone South Park made up for an episode 20 years ago. While all this is happening, there's also a Trump plotline here, cause how could there not be? And it's parodying Fox News, which is funny cause Fox News is generally the most insane programming I have ever seen, and I can't believe this is an actual channel that exists. Anyways, Fox News is really excited about a certain question. Is Donald Trump fucking Satan? Not only is this funny cause it's, you know, stupid, why would anyone care about this really non-important issue, and why the fuck do you care about that, and why are you so excited about this, what's so great about President fucking Satan? But it can also be interpreted that instead of if Trump is having sex with Satan, it can be interpreted as asking if Trump is literally Satan himself, and that's just very funny. The way Fox News people talk and the voice they have just make the jokes so much funnier. Anyways, the twist of the episode was that the Labubus are actually demonic and kids use it to make Labubu TikToks. And the TikToks are some satanic rituals, and it's never explained why they do that. That's extremely funny. And the best part of it is that no one besides Jesus gives a fuck about it. Everyone tweets it like it's something completely normal, and that Jesus is an old timer that doesn't understand the kids nowadays for thinking this is fucked up. It's so stupid, I love it. Anywho, Butters gets this rare Labubu and goes to the Red birthday party, where Red says they need to do it, meaning the Labubu ritual, which Butters interprets as sex. I love how he just believes that what he experienced with the ritual and all is what sex looks like. That's such a funny, subtle joke that you would probably miss if you're watching it, not paying attention. Pay attention, you moron! And I love how the ritual ends with them summoning Donald Trump, the most satanic being there is for real. And after that, it's revealed that Satan is pregnant with Trump's baby. What? Okay, so it turns out that the reason Satan needs to stay with Trump even though he hates him is because he is pregnant, meaning that Trump is the father of the Antichrist and that Emperor is canon to South Park, which is just... It's beautiful, you know. Thanks South Park for that. I love you. That was very funny, but it made me think, what the fuck happened to Damien? You know, the son of Satan. For the son of Satan, it's weird how we never saw him after season 1, with how much we saw Satan afterwards, and now having another Antichrist be born really made me think of the original Antichrist and whatever happened to him. The answer is Matt and Trey forgot. I can't really blame them. Anyways, the episode ends with Jesus banning Claboos and Butters and Red saying that Jesus is actually pretty alright, which is a nice ending, but it feels kinda, you know, out of nowhere. Kids didn't like Jesus at the beginning of the episode, but now they do, and it feels like they missed an entire middle section of the episode about kids growing fonder of Jesus or whatever. I don't know, it's not that big of an issue. I like the wholesome photo Jesus has on his desk, spending time with God. That's nice. Anyways, yeah, I really like this episode. I feel like it did a good job of making the episode topical and political while still focusing on the kids stuff. I like how this episode had a clear plot structure and didn't just randomly end, and it had so many great jokes. I really liked it. It gave me hope for the season after the last few episodes that had really weird pacing. Not gonna lie, it's kinda funny looking back on the episode now, seeing how the entire Labu hype train just died down since the episode released. Like, you don't see people talking about them anymore. To be honest, it was already dying when the episode came out, but it's just weird how you don't hear anything at all about Labus anymore nowadays. It's kinda insane knowing how big they used to be and how not big they are now. Anyways, let's see how they continue the season from here. I don't know if I actually mean it or is it just that good compared to the rest of the episodes this season, and this is just recency bias speaking, but Conflict of Interest is amazing, easily my favorite episode of the year. Okay, but before talking about the episode itself, let's take a look at the atrocious fucking schedule again, yay! Okay, so like, when this episode was supposed to come out, few hours before the episode was supposed to air, Matt and Trey said that they actually didn't make it on time, and that the episode will be pushed back by a week, making it a 3-week wait between episodes, which is just nuts. Matt and Trey literally never miss deadlines. This just feels so unlike them. The only time they did miss a deadline, as far as I know, was for Goth Kids 3, but that was apparently of a flood that happened at South Park Studios, so it makes sense, but there wasn't a flood now, so why did that happen? Not only that, but they announced that the next episode will also be in 3 weeks. Why? I don't know, at first it pissed me off, but Jesus, the wait for the episode was worth it. So the entire school uses the new app to do bets on the most random stuff, but the most popular bet quickly becomes if Kyle's mom will bomb a Palestinian hospital. You know, because she's a Jew. This upsets Kyle and Kyle's mom, naturally, and they throw tantrums in public, which makes everyone even more sure that they will bomb a hospital. This is so stupid and funny, because why do they target Kyle's mom specifically and no other Jew, just Kyle's mom? Oh wait, I just remembered the South Park movie. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I kinda like how everyone just calls her Kyle's mom, like, she has a name. I think my favorite joke was Ike betting that Kyle's mom will do that during the dinner with her on the dinner table. Cartman also tries to get money out of it by popularizing the theory that Kyle's mom will do that while betting on the fact that she won't, cause why would she do that? I noticed that nowadays Cartman's anti-Semitism has been dialed down a bit. It's not like he is an angel or anything now, but it feels like he isn't that extreme now like he was 10 years ago or so, which is kinda a shame, cause a lot of Cartman's humor came out of the fact that he is that much of a cartoonishly terrible person, but he is still funny, so I don't mind it that much. The part where Kyle's mom literally travels to Israel and everyone believes she is going to do it, including Cartman himself, is so funny, especially the part where for some reason some Palestinian news station starts talking about it, where the entire broadcast is in a foreign language except the word Kyle's mom. She has a name, why the fuck do they call her like that, dude? And I really enjoy the ending where it turns out that Kyle's mom came to Israel only to shit-talk Netanyahu to his face. That was a great ending. There was also a Trump side plot, but it was completely unrelated to the main plot, which I prefer over them interfering with the kid stuff too much, and I found the side plot really hilarious as well. So basically Trump doesn't want Satan to give birth, cause he doesn't want to spend time with the baby and take care of it. So he does some Looney Tunes bullshit to try and abort the baby, and every one of his plans backfires on Brendan Carr for some reason. This plot is literally just copied from the episode Cartman Joins Nambla all the way from fucking season 4. But it's funny here as it was 25 years ago, not gonna lie. And I do more jokes with this plot, and the jokes they repeat are kind of funnier in this episode than they were in Cartman Joins Nambla, so I like that. And also the fact that Brendan Carr is tortured for almost entirety of the episode is funny on the meta level. So like, Jimmy Kimmel said something about how the right is trying to paint the Charlie Kirk assassin as someone from a minority, even though it was a white cis dude who killed him, and that pissed off the FCC that Brendan Carr controls, right? So they pulled the Jimmy Kimmel show from the air, which is again a fascist thing to do. And Man and Trey don't like censorship very much. They have been very clear about that in the past. So they decided to torture Brendan Carr in the episode. Yay! This is literally the pose they had him be in the hospital in. Yeah, they're not very subtle about their thoughts. Okay, so after Brendan Carr got hospitalized, it turns out that JD Vance was actually evil this whole time, and he was manipulating Trump to abort the baby cause he can't allow him to become the president, cause JD Vance is next in line to be a president. This is not how election work at all, like, what the fuck? I don't know, it was so funny, I didn't give a fuck, man. Not much to say about the episode, that isn't just... It's funny! It has good pacing, but it just does. The episode is consistently funny and has a great plot structure. It was very nice to see Kyle again after having one line of dialogue this season. Just single one line of dialogue this entire season. What the fuck, man? This is nuts. He's like the main character, he's like the face of the show next to other characters. And I love how they're leaning more and more into Trump being a South Park character that doesn't really comment on anything happening in the real world. His character works much better this way, it's very funny. It doesn't, you know, I forgot the word. I'm sorry. The episode gave me the hope that maybe this season won't be that messy after all. Oh yeah, Donald Jr. was also parodied here, but he didn't do anything memorable, so I didn't talk about him. Fuck you. 6-7 on a Merry Christmas, 6-7 on a Merry Christmas, 6-7 on a Merry Christmas, and the gassy yeah. I'm so tired, dude. Okay, so imagine waiting now 3 weeks instead of 2, for a new episode, and they announced that it's an episode all about 6-7. How the fuck am I even supposed to defend myself from liking this show? Like, oh, my favorite show is South Park, you should check it out. Their most recent episode is all about 6-7. Like, it's so insane. They did a Labubu episode, followed by a fucking Israel episode, and then it's followed by a 6-7 episode. Okay, man. This season 28 is so weird. Wait, what do you mean season 28? Okay, so in the middle of season 27, the seasons got randomly split up into 2 different seasons consisting of 5 episodes. Why? Maybe it was to catch up on the fact that there wasn't a season last year, but like, why? This is such a baffling decision. 6 episodes per season wasn't enough, you had to make it even fucking less? What? I genuinely hope with all my heart that this will be reverted back to normal this year. I mean, yeah, in 2026. Cause it's just so fucking annoying and confusing and pisses me the fuck off. Fuck you! Fuck you, South Park! Anyways, the episode... It's not very good. It's not good to compensate for that. So, like, the school invites Peter Phil, who knows about the Antichrist, to teach the children about the coming of the Antichrist that's happening right now. And Peter Phil notices that kids have a weird obsession with the numbers 6 and 7, and he believes it's demonic and tries to stop it. Peter Phil is another dude that I have not heard about before the episode, but oh my god, is his jingle catchy. Peter Phil knows about the Antichrist. It's Peter Phil knows about the Antichrist. Anyways, the best part of the episode was definitely Cartman. Before that episode, I used to think 6-7 jokes were the most unfunniest shit ever. And they still are. But there's just something so funny about Cartman laughing at the slightest mention of the numbers 6 and 7 that have no meaning at all, so hard that he throws up everywhere. It's just so fucking absurd and dumb. I just lose my shit watching that. I just lost my shit watching him hold his laughter when asking question that the answer to is always 6 or 7. Anyways, this is all just a side plot. Main plot is about Jesus questioning if he belongs here. By saying here, I mean South Park. Saying how modern Christians are lacking in empathy and that the religion was actually based on. This is cool and all, and it's a unfortunately pretty real commentary, but nothing really happens throughout the whole thing, and I don't think it's that funny to carry an entire episode on their own. In fact, I think it's more sad than anything, especially seeing PC principle like this and strong woman becoming a trophy wife. It's just sad to see compared to how they used to be, like, I don't know, last year. They used to be so happy. They used to have a family. Man, this is just a very weird direction to take these characters in, but I will talk about it more later. And throughout the episode, Jesus gets more and more sick of PC principle and modern Christian culture, which makes the ending even more bizarre and out of nowhere. So like Jesus is walking back home from a double date, PC principle organized, you know what I mean. And he is all sad and all saying where the world has come to, and before, out of nowhere, going back to the restaurant the date was at and becoming all right-wing and MAGA. What? Why the hell did that happen? Nothing in the episode felt like it was building up to it, and just feel like an unneeded butchering of yet another nice and woke character. They don't use Jesus throughout the rest of the season or up to the finale, so that makes me even more confused at this weird decision. Jesus, I forgot there was a Trump plotline, oh my god. But like, I'm gonna be honest, nothing happens in it. It's just a joke of Trump masturbating with a pair of pliers, and that's that. There is literally no substance, there is literally no plot. The episode ends with Peter Phil taking Cartman apparently to Washington after failing to do a 6-7 exorcism on him, thinking he might be a key to stop the Antichrist. Apparently. And yeah, sure, that's kinda an interesting plot point. They don't go anywhere with it, but we will get to that. Anyways, that was a mid episode. There wasn't very much good things in it, but Cartman did a lot of heavy lifting for it. That's pretty much all I have to say. Let's just move on. I don't want to talk about these episodes for like 6 or 7 minutes really. Oh my fucking god, dude! This episode sucks balls! Oh my fucking god! Okay, so when the episode was supposed to come out, it was announced that it will be pushed back by 2 days, releasing the episode on Friday, on Halloween night. This is, as far as I know, this is the first time in the history of the show that the new episode premiere on a day different than Wednesday. Oh my fucking god. What is wrong with this release schedule? It's such a confusing mess of a season. What the fuck is wrong with you? So, after sycophancy, the Marsh family are basically homeless, and because of the government shutdown, Randy can't get his job back for a few months. This forces the Marsh family to move in with Grandpa into his retirement home apartment. This is like the worst living condition we ever saw Stan in, and it's just sad to see him like that. So, because of that, Stan comes to the only natural conclusion. South Park sucks now. I think this is the point where Matt and Trey stopped giving a fuck and got bored of Trump. They still need to finish the story of this season, so like, they gotta make the most out of the Trump plot now. Makes sense, but like, they don't really want to do that. Which I completely get. This thing has been rough. Though I am pretty sick of the episodes where a character says how much South Park sucks now and just repeats the criticism people have about the current show, saying how it's fair and absolutely true, and they miss the old stuff, and it's acknowledged, but it's acknowledged that the things should get back to the way they were, and they just don't get back to the way they were at the end of the episode, and they don't change anything about it. They did that already in season 22, 23 and 24, and it just got fucking tiring after a while, okay? So like, in order to change how South Park sucks now, Stan, Kyle and Kenny start a subreddit against the suckiness of South Park. And of course the main 4use Reddit, what the fuck did I even expect? And when the subreddit explodes in popularity, Stan uses this as an opportunity to sell Bitcoin. Okay. I saw some people say that this is out of character for Stan and he wouldn't scam people like this, but I don't know, man. We saw before how Stan just forgets about the cause he was fighting for and starts to care only about fame and money whenever he gets attention. It was shown in episodes like Butterballs or Skulls for Applause. And I can't say that it's something Stan wouldn't do, because it fits him. But that doesn't change the fact that it's not funny at all in this episode. The only joke I like in the episode was Cousin Kyle becoming a financial advisor for Stan, cause he is a walking Jewish stereotype, so it makes perfect sense for him to be a financial advisor. It was fun to see him again after all this time. I don't know why they decided to put him in prison at the end of the episode. That was kinda weird and not very funny, and whatever. Anyways, the episode ends with Stan being depressed that things won't get back to normal after his plan fails, but Kyle cheers him up saying this.
Things will get back, Stan. I know it's hard to see right now, but things will go back to normal. And in the meantime, we just have to make the most of where we are.
This is, I think, Matt and Trey talking to the audience directly. Not only talking about the state of the country, but state of the show as a whole. It feels like they're just saying that they gotta just finish this stupid chess season, and after that, things will get back to normal. I hope. And I really do hope so. There was of course a Trump side plot, but I generally have nothing to say about it at all. It's just nothing. It's just empty noise. I have no idea who the fuck Pam Bondi is, and I don't care. It's just repeating the same jokes they repeated for the last 5 episodes. I think this is the point where I just got fucking sick of Trump this season. This is the point where I just had enough of him, and I couldn't wait for next season to come out again. This episode is just soulless. It feels extremely sad and tired. It's very boring, and I'm just really disappointed. I really hope this season gets back on track again. Cause this fucking sucks! Oh, did I forget to mention that this is a Halloween special? I feel like the show also forgot about that fact, cause it's not Halloweeny, like, at all! Let's move on. Fuck you! Thankfully, after the last 2 episodes, Sorry Not Sorry is pretty damn good. At first when I learned about the episodes, I was like, really? What is it, a 5th AI episode? It seemed a bit tiring, but At least they focusing on a different aspect of AI now instead of ChatGPT, that being generative AI, more specifically Sora AI, which is, in the title, so I think it should be pretty obvious. So Butters realizes that Red was using him to buy her Labubus, remember that plot point? So in order to get revenge on her, him and Kenny are generating embarrassing AI videos of Red doing AI embarrassing stuff, which causes an outbreak of them at the school, with the police believing it's true. I noticed that Matt and Trey started leaning more and more into the incel persona of Butters, which was mainly shown in season 20 and The Hobbit, and I'm not really that big a fan of that. I don't know, like it was funny when he didn't know what he was saying or doing, like in Butters' bottom bitch, but having him be fully aware of what he's doing and seeing him be misogynistic like that and calling Red a stupid bitch, then I don't know, man. Butters was always the most naive and childish character in the show, and it was a great contrast to everyone else, and I hope they will stop doing episodes where he is like this. It gives me a bad taste in my mouth. Can we at least not ruin this character? Like, I think you ruined enough, man. Kinda makes sense though. He is the nicest person in the show, sure, but he likes some stupid gross out humor here and now, so it does feel in character for him. Plus, he also really likes Butters, so yeah. Bunny forever. Anyways, meanwhile, it turns out that Cartman never actually made it out of South Park, and Peter, Phil and him were at the motel this whole time, and Peter, Phil was generating AI videos of Cartman saying he's okay and sending it to Cartman's mom. I love how the AI videos looked in this episode. They nailed the style of them perfectly, with the clunky animation, nothing making sense, and Cartman constantly repeating his catchphrases he didn't use in like 20 years. They looked so bad, it was great. Meanwhile, at the White House, Trump learns that J.D. Vance was trying to kill his baby. It happened in the last episode, but I'm gonna be honest, that episode was so fucking boring and forgettable that I didn't even realize that it happened. They quickly realized they both want the same thing, so Trump and Vance start having hot gay sex. Yeah! This was my favorite part of the episode. It was so fucking funny, like Donald Trump and JD Vance were having sex, what else can I even say? It was beautiful. I also enjoyed Harrison Yates in this one. It was very funny to see him believe that Totoro and all the other childish characters in those AI videos were actually having sex with people at school. It was so stupid. I noticed that I've been saying it's so stupid a lot of this video, I just keep saying that everything is so stupid, but this is just a very stupid show and that's why I love it so much. The ending was a little bit messy here, with fucking Bluey suing kids at school for using her likeness in AI videos without permission, which I don't understand completely. So, did this actually happen or was it AI? What was the deal with it? Is like Bluey a real character in World of South Park, or any other cartoon characters here also real? That kind of makes the the AI police believing plot less funny. I don't know, it was confusing. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Butter gives a "I learned something today" speech, and that somehow makes Yates realize where Cartman was kidnapped, and they save him and arrest Peter Phil, thinking he was working for Totoro. This was a weird decision, it just feels like they didn't care about Cartman being taken to Washington plotline anymore, and just quickly, Ed Messi decided to resolve it, and it makes the viewer think, what the fuck was the point of that? I don't know, the episode was just pretty funny. I don't have that much to say about it. Ending to Trump plotline was funny, if not a little bit sad. Let's just finish the season and see what they do for the last 2 episodes. Yay! What the fuck? A Thanksgiving special? This never happened in the show. This is only the 3rd time in the entire series history. What the hell? As I said in my iconic Cleveland show ranking video that everyone here should go and watch, I don't really care about Thanksgiving specials that much, because I am Polish. And I don't give a fuck about a holiday that has no effect on me or on my culture whatsoever. So consider me surprised when I actually really like this episode. Okay, really liked it is an overstatement, but I liked it. It was pretty good. It was probably the best Thanksgiving episode up to date, which isn't a very much high bar to clear, but it's something, right? Yeah? Yeah. So it's time for the annual turkey trot here in South Park, but everyone is broke, so no one can afford to sponsor the event. I liked how the reasons that they can't sponsor it are callbacks to the previous episodes this season, like the shitty Wok guy being, broke because of the tariffs and Wok being dead and stuff. I especially enjoyed Randy constantly saying how they lost their integrity. That was great. So, the mayor gets a genius idea to have the fucking country of Saudi Arabia sponsor the trot. Alright. This is the reference to the hit country Saudi Arabia, and more specifically, the Riyadh Comedy Festival? I think I'm pronouncing this right. It was a comedy festival, well duh, that happened a few months ago, where the many high-profile comedians were doing comedy sketches. Makes sense, right? Because that's what comedians do. Comedy sketches. So basically, many of these comedians were very against the event because of the country violation of civil rights, but later on, they proudly took part in the event because money. During the festival, they also couldn't even fucking mention anything about the country itself, or the royal family, or the religion. That was fucking nuts. Anyways, the idea of Saudi Arabia sponsoring a fucking turkey trot in a random ass town in Colorado in the same way like they sponsored the comedy festival, I don't know, it's just very funny to me. Especially the commercial they did for it. Anyways, the main four wants to compete in the turkey trot for the price of $5,000, but Cartman said that he was studying race science and that they should get Tolkien to play on their team, because he is naturally fast. You know, man, I missed episodes about Cartman being racist towards Tolkien, not because he has any hatred or anything, but because he believes in fucking stupid stereotypes and theories that don't make sense, and he genuinely believes in them. And I don't know, it's always so funny to see him acting this fucking stupid. The scene where he is so fucking scared of Nicole being on Wendy's team is so funny. Man, I said fuck a lot, don't I? Am I written by Vivzipop? That's a fate worse than death! Anywho, Tolkien learns that this event was sponsored by Saudi Arabia. I don't know how he didn't know it before, but he learns about it and decides to not take part in the event. And Cartman can't let it happen, so he is defending Saudi Arabia to Tolkien while he is playing our graders. And Cartman is basically just repeating the stuff the comedians that took part in the festival were saying to defend the country. That was funny. I especially find it funny how he said that it's basically a lesbian utopia, cause women have the right to drive there now. When this doesn't work, Cartman steals Tolkien's Xbox 360 and forces him to run after him, tricking him into taking part in the turkey trot. Wait, what the fuck? Why was Tolkien playing a 2025 game on fucking Xbox 360? That's almost 20-year-old console. What the fuck? Matt and Trey, I thought you were gamers. How dare you trick me like this? Man, screw you! Screw you, bitch! I'm very disappointed. Hold on, let me drink something. Delicious water. Also, Tolkien is still living on the farm next to where Tegudi Farms used to be, right? And in season 22, Stan said that him getting from the farm to school takes an hour with a car, right? So, how the fuck did Cartman and Tolkien run all the way from the farm to the town and still catch up with the race? And they weren't tired at all. What the hell? Which is it, Matt and Trey? Better keep your story straight. Straight. I mean, they probably retcon it cause they didn't care, which makes sense. Anyways, meanwhile, the head of Department of War, Pete Hegseth, came to the town with the mission of breaking Peter Thiel out of jail. I really enjoyed how Harrison Yates just kicked Pete Hegseth in the ass when he went to the police station. That was funny. Yates was really based in the last 2 episodes, I can't lie. Anyways, the main joke they did with Hegseth was that he is making a lot of content for his social media pages, instead of doing anything actually useful, like a 15-year-old girl. And it was very funny, but it got stale after like 4 minutes. But I really like the parody of Danger Zone they did here, it was funny. Pete Hegseth's a fucking douche. That was my cover of it. Also, I have no idea why they decided to bring Kristi Noem into this too again. And all they did with her was a single joke that she is also making content. And she shoots a dog again. Did you miss this joke, kids? I sure did. Anyways, what shocked me the most is the fact that there's basically almost zero Trump in the episode. He appeared for a total of like 20 seconds. It was nuts for this season, but also insanely refreshing, very much so. Remember when this show wasn't about Trump? I don't. Anyways, Pete Hegseth trashes the entire race before getting arrested. In the chaos of it all, Tolkien accidentally wins the turkey trot, and him and every one of the main 4 gets $1,000 each at the end. I like this episode. I don't think it's the best episode this season. I feel like the Pete Hegseth side could use more polishing and stuff, but it definitely feels the most classic from all the episodes this season. With the little to non-Trump screen time, the focus on the main 4 doing something as a team, Cartman being fucking dumb as hell, and the town doing something together. I don't know, I just find it so charming how the entire town was united and together taking part in this event. I thought it was nice. The entire episode is just nice, it's a pretty positive episode. It has a happy ending, and all the annoying political characters got arrested. I feel like it was needed after last episodes were about how everything fucking sucks nowadays. The episode won't blow anyone away, but it feels like a breath of fresh air for this season. I liked it. But when it came out, all I could think was, why aren't we ending on a 2-parter? Every time a show did a serialized season like that, they ended it on a 2 and sometimes even a 3-parter. And this season has so many loose ends and unfinished plot points, and so many stuff has been set up. And it makes me really curious on what plan they have for the ending. The Antichrist being born, Maki being without a job, Jesus and Prissy Principal being MAGA, Stan not having a home, Trump cheating on Satan, whatever the hell happened to Towley. They have all these different plot points, and how are they supposed to finish them all in just one episode, with all of them still having sense? Well, let's find out. The answer is that they stopped giving a fuck. They didn't even try to make it make sense. They decided to make the messiest fucking episode of the season, finishing most of the plot points extremely fast and unnaturally. Doing a crap out, basically. And Jesus Christ, I adored it. For some reason, this episode is longer than a usual episode, being 26 minutes instead of 21 minutes. I don't know why, but sure, alright. It's funny, cause it feels like the shortest episode of the season at the same time, it's weird. Anyways, we are back focusing on Stan. More specifically, depressed Stan. Yummy yummy, my favorite. Stan is talking about how the last few months were awful, cause they were, and how much he needs some kind of Christmas miracle to happen to the counselor. That being Jesus, who is now in full MAGA Christian mode. Kinda weird how they decided to come back to this plot point literally like in the last episode of the season. It makes me wonder again what the fuck the point of it all even was, but I digress. In the retirement home, Stan goes to the toilet and starts praying for our classic character of Mr. Hanky to return and make a Christmas miracle happen. You know, with the title of the episode being Crap Out and it being a Christmas special, and also the fact that they recently brought back Mr. Hanky in the Snow Day video game, which sucked because the game sucks, but whatever, I was pretty sure that he will return, but instead, we get a different return of classic Christmas characters.
Look, guys, it's Danny!
Woodland Critters finally made a comeback to the show after what was it, 20 years? And they fit here perfectly, cause, you know, the Antichrist is being born and all, and it's Christmas and stuff. Not to mention that Woodland Critter Christmas is one of my all-time favorite episodes of the show. So I was really happy to see them again in the show. It's great. But it begs the question, why are they here? Weren't they something that Cartman made up for a story? And the answer is, who gives a shit? It's a crap out. This episode doesn't have any logic or sense and nothing in it even tries to be natural, and I can't help but just love it. My favorite part of this is the fact that the Woodland Critters literally don't do anything. All they do in the episode is literally just fucking stand around and do nothing and have no effect on the plot. So not only does it not make sense that they have been brought back, they have been brought back for literally no reason at all. And I can't help but find it beautiful. Meanwhile, Trump and Vance have traveled to South Park undercover in order to break out Peter, Phil and Pete Hegseth out of prison, and with the help of them, stop the Antichrist from being born. I really like the Christmas outfits, they look so funny in those. And meanwhile, Satan saves Towley, who has been spying on everything that has been happening in the White House while he was a camerack, and tells the entire truth to Satan. So Satan and Towley travel to South Park in order to kill Trump and Vance, or whatever they want to do. And in South Park, they team up with Stan and Woodland Critters, who want the Antichrist to be born, because they're Satanists, so they also want to stop Trump. But before they can stop Trump and Vance, fucking Jesus Christ, being old Christian now, comes and uses his superpowers to teleport Trump and Vance to the police station and rescue Pete Hegseth and 6-7 guys, as Stan called him, which is literally the fucking definition of Deus Ex Machina. What the fuck is even happening anymore? I love how Towley kept repeating how this is the most fucking genius and well-written culmination of ideas in history of mankind. He was just very funny in the episode all around. I loved him. I love you, Towley. You're the GOAT. Okay, so Satan is in the hospital, going into labor, and Trump and his band of mischiefs raid the hospital and go into the room 6-7 where Satan is located, where Stan and Woodland Critters try to stop him and other characters too, and Stan just fucking talks Jesus into being good again with one line of dialogue, just a single line of dialogue. It's all they needed, which was very unnatural and abrupt, and it really does make me wonder, again, what the hell the point of it all was. But at the same time, I don't fucking care, my goat is back once again. So, before the battle can begin, the doctor comes and says that Satan's baby hanged himself in the womb, even though there's a lot of footage missing and Mr. Lee, there is no footage of him even trying to commit suicide. It's still definitely a suicide. This is a reference to the fact that Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. This was so out of nowhere, but I can't lie, it was the hardest I laughed the whole season. It was so fucking dumb. It's apparently something that babies just do sometimes, kill themselves in the womb. It's so funny. The episode ends with Trump throwing a party celebrating the baby's death while Satan leaves him being depressed over the death of the only thing in his life he was happy about. This is kinda a depressing note to end the season on. I get that it's final commentary of the season, that no matter what happens, Trump will never face consequences to his actions. But still though, I was expecting Satan to fucking destroy Trump or whatever at the end of the season. But, to be honest, who would be the president after that happened? Anyways, I'm just glad that it's over and that Satan isn't living with this fucker anymore. What's that? There are 3 minutes of the episode left. What could possibly happen? So Stan is sitting in the retirement home when he receives a letter from Jesus, thanking him for helping him find himself, and delivering him the Christmas miracle that he always wanted, and giving him the keys to his old house back. After 6 or 7 years, it happened. Stan was again back in his house. It's all that he ever wanted ever since he moved from the farm. And seeing his old room again, his old toys and posters after all this time, I don't know, I'm gonna be honest, it made me tear up a bit actually. I'm very emotionally connected to the show and the characters, and the ending of the episode just made me so happy. I think it was the perfect note to end the season on, and all I could ever want for Stan. Look, I know all I did for this review of the episode is literally just a summary of what happened in the episode with very little commentary in it, but I really feel like the episode just speaks for itself. It's a mess, so much is happening, there's so little room to breathe, constant joke after joke, nothing makes sense, but it's fun. It's very fun. It's the most fun I had during the season probably. I can forgive all its faults for what it does right. And what it does right is making me laugh and cry. I think it was an outstanding episode and it will make me look back on the seasons more fondly in the future. So, seasons 27/28. What a fucking mess that has been. Not even counting the quality of the episodes, the way it was released and everything was just so weird. Splitting it into 2 seasons, the awful TV schedule, the lawsuits happening behind the scenes, and the fact that every single one of these episodes was, in one way or another, focused on Trump. It resulted in the most bizarre season of the show, and I don't think anything even comes close to it. By all means, I think this season was pretty darn good. I think it's miles better than seasons 20, 21, and 22, but I think I just had more fun with the last 2 seasons than with this one. Maybe it's the release schedule making me feel like that a little bit, but I just don't think that many episodes were worth the weird wait and putting up with all that bullshit. But even without the context of that, there are plenty issues. The Trump jokes got stale very fast, and my main problem with the season was how very much unplanned it was. It felt like after the buzz that happened around the premiere of the season, Matt and Trey were curious how far they can go with it, setting up more and more stuff, with either very fast resolution or no resolution at all. Mainly the fact that Maki is not the chancellor anymore, and the fact that PC Principal stayed MAGA, which I genuinely fucking hate. Sure, it was funny that he changed his views so drastically and fast, it was a nice bit of commentary on a lot of, celebrities nowadays, but I don't know, man. Having him stay that way, it just feels like it's a bastardization of not only his character, but his entire PC family. We had plenty episodes in the past fleshing his character out, having him have a family, being happy, like I genuinely felt emotional during some episodes in season 22 for him. And just throwing it all out the window for the sake of a joke. It just feels so bad, man. I really hope they will return him back to normal in the following years. It wouldn't make sense if it would be still like this when Trump presidency ends, so I really hope for the best in the following years. Even still, I don't think the season was bad by any means. Sure, it was tiring at times, but so many episodes from this season were just very fucking funny, even the Trump stuff too. And I will remember some of them as very fucking funny episodes for a long time. There are big glimpses of classic South Park greatness we could see even in like season 26, but it just feels like the greatness of the show was covered in a mediocrity of the Trump shit, and it resulted in a season that was just pretty good, but not the best. Still though, only 2 episodes here I would consider bad. I feel like the season is still better than any other adult animated comedy show airing right now. Okay, maybe not Smiling Friends, they were better this year, but not counting them, they are still better than most sitcoms, that is, yeah. Anyways, if I had to rank these episodes from worst to best, they would go Woman in the Hat at the bottom, then Twisted Christian, God and Nat, Sycophancy, Turkey Trot, Sermon on the Band, Sorry Not Sorry, Walk is Dead, The Crap Out, and Conflict of Interest at the top. Anyways, yeah, I didn't make this video on time for Christmas, so the beginning of the episode is not very it didn't age well, you know. But still, Happy New Year's everybody! I think 2025 was a very good year for me, and I feel like my channel is beginning to grow finally. I'm still very proud of that Undertale video I released in September, and I have big things planned for 2026, so stay tuned for that. There's gonna be like a over 4 hours long video on Adventure Times, and I can't wait to show it. Anyways, yeah, that's all. See you next year. Bye bye. And remember, never give up on the fix that you commit to. Good night.